The NNSCRA Offline and Online Racing as Best presents Speed World. And then there was one. As the season concludes for season 36 of the Castrol GTX Cup Series, we are set to go racing here in at Atlanta Motor Speedway. I know this is not the current Atlanta configuration because I don't use the current Atlanta configuration. This here this 1.522 mile racetrack here, the old layout. It's the running of the Napa Auto Parts 500, the 31st and final stop on the Castrol GTX Cup Series Tour for season 36. And what a season it's been so far here. And it should come to a fitting conclusion here in the final 50 laps of the season. And what a points medal we got going into this race as well, too. We'll explain that later on. So here's the starting lineup. On the pole is Colin Cropley at 183 miles an hour, the number 25 Kodiak Chevrolet, looking to get that first win, his last chance to do so. Obviously, he'll be alongside the defending series champion Dylan Young, the number 2 Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac. He's 11th in points coming into the season. He's won twice so far. Row 2, Jessica Shelton, 4-time winner this season so far, the Budweiser Ford, car number 11, and making a return to the series for the first time in a while, the number 24 DuPont Chevrolet. It's Charles Sanford behind the wheel. Now you say, no, wait a minute. I thought Sanford drove a 71. Who's driving a 71 in this race? We'll find out. You'll find out here in a minute. Charles, of course, won the season at Bristol, and then, of course, that's also a car Charles will be driving next season on the tour. Going to row number 3, it's car number 5, Austin Reed. He's one of the 4 drivers that got a shot at the championship here this season. Number 5, Tide Chevrolet. Number 28, Texaco Haviland Ford, Keith Batson, 3-time winner so far. Row 4 has car number 71. It's Kev Shearer driving this machine right there in a one-off start this season here. And whether Kev wants to go to the 71 next season, that's going to be a question right there for season 37. He's alongside number 42, Kyle Matthews. No love lost between those two for sure, if you know Kyle and Kev. Kyle drives the number 42 Mille Yellow machine. He's won the season at Darlington and Rockingham. Next one down is number 66, Rafael Duke, currently number 2 in the points coming in this event. Phillips 66 Trop Arctic Ford. He's alongside Tori Gossett, the Quicker State Ford, car number 26. Next one down is number 52, Seth Coley. He's currently 4th in points coming in this race, 76 behind the leader. He's alongside number 1, Trent Dunham in the Skull Classic Oldsmobile. By the way, Seth looking to sweep Atlanta, by the way, too. He won the last time he was here. Next one down is number 94, Dylan Poteet, the Sunoco Ultra Oldsmobile. Beside him, number 6 is Paul Minnick in the Valvoline Ford. Next one down is number 21, Quentin Moore, the Stick-Go Ford, car 21, and number 3, Cole Deaver, the GM Goodwrench Chevrolet. He is currently number 5 in the points coming in this event. Next one down has car number 68, that is Ben Cohen, and number 90, Caleb Fogler. Next one down has number 9, Cody McGurk, and beside him, number 49, Tito McCoy at the wheel. Next round is number 98, that is Ryan Brommer. He's on the outside. Inside of him is number 22, Mitchell Hodak. Next round down has number 75, Laura Chung, and number 43, Mike Becker, the STP Pontiac. Next round has the championship points leader, Joshua Osborne, looking for his 3rd championship, looking to clinch his 3rd championship this season here today. He's alongside number 15. That is Aubrey Scott in the Motorcraft Ford. Next round is number 55, Alexander Rowe, and number 10, Andrew Miller. Then it's number 4, Eric Monaco. Beside him, number 7, Lyle Austin. Next round has number 18, Noah Sewell, and beside him, number 17, Reggie Fogelman. Next round is the Ray Best's Ford, car number 12. It is Christian Bracken, and number 83, John Andrews in the Purex Ford. Next round has number 30, the defending race champion, Zachary Fitzwater, and number 33, Nathan Ormond at the wheel of his machine. And starting shotgun in the field is number 48, Wes McCoy, and number 16, Ali Liara. That is your starting lineup for the Napa Auto Parts 500. Points battle coming into this race here. Joshua Osborne has the lead by 39 points over Rafael LeDuc. And in the points chase here. So if LeDuc were to win here, but does not lead the most laps, Joshua's going to have to finish 8th or better to win the championship here If Leduc does lead the most laps, then Joshua's going to have to finish 7th or better to win the championship. But there's other contenders as well, too. Austin Reed is 3rd place in the points, 74 points behind the leader. And Seth Cole is 76 behind the leader in 4th.
Drivers, start those engines!
And the command has been given for the final time this season to fire the engines at Atlanta Motor Speedway here. Who will win the championship this season? You'll find out in 50 laps. That one's here today. In the Napa Autoports 500, pace currently still around for the pace up. We'll be back for start a race right after this. Through turns number 3 and 4, they come here. Colin Cropley, the number 25 machine, and Dylan Young, number 2, will lead into the green flag here. And if you know your 1992 season, by the way, that 24 car reason why Charles Simber is driving this machine is one, he'll be driving this car next season, but 2, the 24 car, you remember, debuted in 1992 at Atlanta in the season finale. So that's why the 24 car has been inserted into this race. But off the 4th turn, 38 cars will in search for victory here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The green flag flash for the final time. The Napa Auto Parts 500 is underway. Colin Cropley leads the first lap of this race here. Jessica Shelton goes to 2nd position now as they come off the 2nd turn now. Shelton dives to the inside lane here. Austin Reed, he wants to get those 5 bonus points for leading a lap here at Atlanta. They come off the 4th turn now. Shelton dives inside. Cropley goes back on the outside of the track. Who leads this 2nd lap of this race? It's going to be Shelton by about a fender at the start-finish line. Through the 1st and 2nd turns, they come again here as they come off turn number 2 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway here. And Jessica Shelton has one of our 3 in-car cameras in today's event here at Atlanta. 4-time winner of the season so far, and we'll be back with this ride next season. The last lap for Jessica, 187.503 miles an hour. The last lap by that time by. And in fact, Lyle Austin has the fastest lap race so far at 187.927, almost 188 miles an hour around here at Atlanta. So very, very fast racetrack, obviously, here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. As Austin Reed comes to the start finish line, he'll get his 5 bonus points for leading a lap now. So Austin, who comes in this race 74 points behind the leader here, has already got the early jump on everybody else here. But Raphael Leduc in car 66 is not far behind. In fact, if the race were to end right now, Leduc, I believe, would be your champion, obviously, on the season. Osborne's way back in 25th. Osborne did not have a good qualifying run at all. And he was not real happy about that, though. But the way Atlanta works, Atlanta, very fast and very, very competitive here. And here comes Kev Shearer in 71. Goes to make it to the inside, tries to make it 3 wide between him, Keith Batson, and Jessica Shelton as they come off turn number 2. Shearer in a one-off deal with that number 71 car after Charles Samber went to the 24 car this season. And Raphael Leduc, though, to the inside to makes it 3 wide. So it makes it 3 wide. Seth Cullen in that match as well, too. Seth, of course, we mentioned, 76 points behind the leader in 4th position in the points, though. So Seth also has a shot at the championship at this event here. Him, Raphael Leduc, Austin Reed, and Joshua Osborne. Those are the 4 drivers that can win it at this event. And Kev Shearer led his first lap of the season. And of course, it's the only start of the season, I should say, too. And Keith Batson got very darn close to that number 5 and 11 cars here, too. And it's about caused a catastrophe come off that 4th corner. Dylan Poteet driving an Oldsmobile at this event. He drove an Oldsmobile, if you remember, also at Phoenix, the last race on the tour, in the Subway 500. And he, of course, that 94 car will not be back next season, too. That car, the Billy Hagan team, if you remember, switched to number 14 in 1993, and of course went to the and also had Kellogg's as a sponsor, and it's gonna be a Chevrolet next season as well too for the 1993 car set. And Raphael Leduc trying to get his first lap led in this event here, but Kev Shearer not letting him do so in a 71 car, and now here comes Leduc to the low side of the racetrack here, trying to get his first lap led of this event here. Seth Colt also wants to lead this first lap. And now Leduc gets his 5 points, or doesn't he get those 5 points? Oh, that was close to the line. And Leduc did lead that lap by just a bumper length, by just a bumper over Kev Shearer. Kev almost took that away from him on that lap. But now Leduc gets his lap led in this race here, and like I said, he's right where he needs to be at this point to win the championship. You remember he had a huge lead coming out of, I think it was at Darlington, Southern 500, and he had trouble at that event. He had trouble at Dover. He also had trouble at several other races that pretty much all but eroded his big lead he had. But now Leduc has fought back, and he is now in points content. He is now in contention to get that championship this season here. So, and let's remember too. Also, the championship is not the only thing they're going for as well. There's a lot of points positions that's up for grabs in the points as well too, and also the Rookie of the Year points, which currently is being led by Christian Bracken as he leads and as he's trying to hold up Andrew Miller for the Rookie of the Year position in the Castrol GTX Cup Series here. So Austin Reed now your leader as he takes it back away from Kev Shearer, who now fights back on the outside on Keith Batson 28 car. That 71 car has been very strong the last several races. So Kev obviously getting a very good ride at this event here at Atlanta. Quentin Moore and Colin Cropley going side by side now for position here. As they head back into turn number 1, there is Trent Dunham in number 1, following Kyle Matthews in 42. And down below them, Paul Minnick in a 6, and Tori Gossett in car 26. You'll see that both the 6 and 26 back in competition next season, but of course, who will drive those two cars next season? Well, that's going to be a good question here. Trent Dunham, you'll be seeing him back in that number 1 car next season. Next season, that number 1 car is going to be a Ford next season, by the way, too. And the 42 Meliota car. Well, you'll see Kyle Matthews back in that ride next season as well, too. I mentioned Charles Sanford already in the 24 car. He'll be in this ride next season as well, too, as well as the 2 of Dylan Young. He also is back in that car. And Dylan, of course, you remember last season took the championship away from Cole Deaver last season at this event after Deaver crashed in the mid stages of the race right there. And that's another thing I do need to mention too, the infamous last race of the season curse, because we have had quite a few seasons in the Castrol GTX Cup Series where the driver leading the points chase coming into it, the season finale, failed to win the championship. And in fact, at one time I think it happened a 3 seasons in a row at one time. It's almost like the last race of the season. This is an absolute curse on the points leader. And as of right now, it's looking like it's going to strike Joshua Osborne at this point there, and there is Osborne. He is way back in the back in an 8 car. Clocked last time by in 29th position, and Joshua needing a bit of a break here to keep his points lead. And he only has a 39-point advantage as you ride along with Osborne. And you see up ahead there, Charles Sanford going to the inside lane and says screw the outside lane, but Joshua wishes he can do that right now, but he's caught on the outside lane. That's the problem with that 8 car, is he's got Zachary Fitzwater up underneath him. Joshua saying, come on, Zachary, let me in. Zachary says, no way, Joshua. And now Lyle Austin in the 7 car, the 15 car of Aubrey Scott, and the 10 of Andrew Miller. And now Aubrey goes inside lane. He'll follow the 30 car as well, too. And now Wes McCoy and Eric Monaco. Eric Monaco is a guy trying to hold on to a position himself. He's trying to hold on to a top 10 spot. And as of right now, he would lose a top 10 to both Dylan Young and Quentin Moore. Quentin was 10th position behind Monaco coming in his race. So right now, Moore was right now Moore and Young would both be inserted into the top 10 on the points chase. Seth Cole leads his first lap finally, so he gets his first lap led of the race. And now here comes Dylan Poteet. He's got Quentin Moore behind him in the 21 car. So Quentin right now would have 9th in the points. And maybe 8th, though, because he's quite a bit of positions ahead of Jessica Shelton as well, too. Cole Deaver, meantime, car number 3, trying to salvage what he can. He's 5th in the points coming in this event, but he's too far back to take the championship, though. But you know, next season that 3 car is going to be back in contention with Cole driving that car. In fact, Deaver's going to be in the 3 car pretty much the rest of the time we do the Castrol GTX Cup Series. So he'll be in his car in the Dale Earnhardt car about pretty much every season we do. But Deaver right now sits in 4th position in the Dale Earnhardt cars right now, and Austin Reed is pulling up behind the number 3 machine as he's trying to push Moore and Deaver up to the field right there as they try to come through turns number 3 and 4. But right now it's Oldsmobile leading this event. It's Dylan Poteet, the number 94 car. You remember Poteet's absolutely bizarre win at Martinsville. I mean, oh gosh, that one's going to be talked about for a long time. But he had a very bizarre win in that event, and do not remind Quentin Moore of that event neither, because he had that whole thing won until an inexplicable event happened that caused Moore to slow down, way down, and not only lose his lead, big lead he had, but also lose the lead to Poteet and the race as well too. And it also reminded me of a Martinsville event that Dylan Poteet actually did in a series, where some pundit was leading the race, led every lap of the race, and then hit somebody on the last lap of the race and gave the win to Jacob Emery. Yeah, that somebody is the person you're listening to right now. I was the one that lost the race on that last lap. Of course, that was back in 2011, so that was all in the past. But yeah, I was the one who was leading on the last lap in Poteet's race at Martinsville, and hit a lap car and had to pit on the last lap, and somehow it made me pit on the last lap and gave the lead in the win to Jacob Emery in that race, who is one of Poteet's best friends by the way too, and that's a name from way back. But I did go in the win for my share of a few offline races, so it's not all that bad. But enough of the past right there. Let's deal with the present right now. It's Quentin Moore goes to the inside lane now, and he'll take the lead from Poteet now. But as they go through turns number 1 and 2, Deaver still trying to hang on with that number 21 car. And of course, by the way, you'll see Quentin back in the 21 car next season as well too, to Sitco Ford. And for the next 2 seasons, you'll see Quentin Moore in the Sitco Ford. Actually, 3 seasons actually, because Morgan Shepherd had that car in 93, 94, and 95. So Quentin Moore will be back with us ride the next 2 seasons, or 3 seasons, I should say. And watch that move by Poteet. Slides underneath and takes the lead away. So Moore leads his lap, but Poteet, as quick as he lost the lead, took it right back. So that 94 car, very, very strong. And now you got an inside lane there going through the mix right there. Kev Shear leading Keith Batson, Tori Gossett, Charles Sanford, and Ryan Brummer. And now the 6 car of Paul Minnick squeezes up in front right there. And Shear is in a very vulnerable position right there at the 71 car, as Batson goes up underneath and tries to get past here. In the meantime, Tori Gossett and Charles Sanford trying to hook up right there. Gossett in 26, Sanford in 24. Going at it here. Been an up and down season for Tori Gossett so far. The 26 machine, the rookie of the year last season. And she, of course, her best finish this season was a 2nd. That came at North Wilkesboro, the first North Wilkesboro race this season, where she finished 2nd to Quentin Moore. And that was quite a special event race for Quentin Moore for sure as well too. As you jump on board Jessica Shelton's car, Shelton right now running in 8th position, but trying to follow Seth Cole right now, trying to get past the 6 car of Paul Minnick. Now trying to pull in behind Seth Cole right now. Jessica, we all know how much she has a love-hate relationship with Atlanta. Mostly hate for Atlanta, pretty much, because she is sometimes she does not. Sometimes she wins here. She's won here before in this series before, but Atlanta has reached out and bit her a few times as well too. But so far, so good for Jessica. She right now is running in 9th position right now, so she is having a pretty good run so far. And Austin Reed up to 2nd place now, and he's trying to stay ahead of Rafael Leduc. Now he's going to have Leduc fall back a little bit for Austin to get past him for the points now, because Austin right now, if I do the math correctly, is 35 points behind Leduc coming into this event. So that's basically basically have to have Leduc fall back a little bit right there. And Leduc got close to Shelton in turn number 1 and 2 that time by. That almost spelled disaster for that 66 car. But right now, both Austin Reed and Rafael Leduc, if they know right now, they're both grinning from ear to ear right now, as is Seth Cole, because they are both way ahead of Joshua Osborne at this point. And Osborne right now sitting 28 at this point of the race there. So Osborne at this point, halfway home, or past halfway home, is definitely losing the championship at this point of this race here. But do you remember Dylan Young was losing at the middle of the most of this race too, even after Deaver came out of the race, but then made a critical move to the inside lane on the inside track of the track right there and gained enough spots where he could gain the championship away. And as of I'm talking this right now, Cole Deaver is now taking the lead away from Dylan Poteet. So Cole looking to get a little redemption on Atlanta as well too. So you know Deaver wants redemption at this event. One season later, as they come out turn number 2, as the Goodwrench Chevrolet jumps out in front. 3-time winner so far. He won at Michigan. He also won at Sonoma. And he also won, I believe, at Indianapolis, the Brickyard 400. So Deaver's had another terrific season, but he also has had bad luck late in the going, like Rafael Leduc. So, and unfortunately for Deaver, he had one bad luck race too many that knocked him right out of the contention of the points chase there. But now Quentin Moore dives up underneath, gets up underneath him to take the position away, tries to take the lead away. He brings Austin Reed with him right now, but Rafael Leduc not letting him get far ahead now in the 66 car. Quentin Moore led the last time by here in car number 21, and there's Osborne. He's on the inside racetrack right now, that number 8 car, trying to see if he can gain what he can on that bunch right there as you ride with Joshua. Running right there ahead, running right behind the 49 car of Tito McCoy in the Ameritron Batteries Chevrolet. And now Osborne gets a grab on the 17 of Reggie Fogelman. There's the RPMs right there on Osborne there, but down about 7,600 RPMs. Come off turn number 2. Outside lane, not working Osborne's advantage. Inside lane not working his advantage right now, and he moves the inside, moves Fogelman up the track right there. That moves him up another spot, or should move him up a spot. Dylan Young now moving back in front of the 49 of Tito McCoy now, as now Young begins to move up the track now. He's got Christian Bracken and Kyle Matthews up ahead of him right now, and Osborne has now hooked up to this draft. And Joshua knows there are now 14 laps remaining in this event, so he knows he's got to put the whip to those horses underneath the hood of his machine. But he knows Rafael Leduc and Austin Reed gaining points, has gained a lot of points at this point of the race right there. As this time goes on, they've all led here as Austin, Rafael, and Seth have all led today, but Osborne has not. So, and plus, like I said, he's been in the back the whole time. But here comes number 21. That's Quentin Moore. trying to get the lead back away from Austin Reed, but here comes LeDuc. Low side to 66 machine. Right now, LeDuc would be the champion if this race were to end now. But Austin Reed, boy, what horsepower that number 5 car is almost like more just put on the brakes. Well, that 5 car's got some horsepower in the hood right there, and now Cole Deaver up the track right there, and Keith Batson trying to stay with him in that 28 car. Seth Cole getting past Jessica Shelton now, or trying to get past Shelton. She's got Seth on the inside, as is also the 26 of Tori Gossett, who she's also on the inside lane. And now Colin Cropley moves inside of Jessica as well too. Check fast lap race so far. That is set by Nathan Ormond. 188.16 miles an hour around this track here. They are averaging over 184 miles an hour after 40 laps. We're now down to 10 laps to go on the season. The championship's still hanging in the balance here, but now it's LeDuc and Reed side by side here. Like I said, Austin Reed's going to have to finish ahead of LeDuc by quite a few positions, as I said. Even if he finishes ahead of Rafael LeDuc by 1 spot, LeDuc will still finish ahead of him in the points. They've each won 1 time this season. That came at Talladega, or LeDuc's came at Talladega in the Winston 500, while Reed's came at Watkins Glen. But you got a lot of tough competitors behind him there. Dylan Poteet, Keith Batson, Jessica Shelton. Seth Cole is going for an Atlanta sweep. He won the last time he was here. And Tori Gossett, she's very hungry as well too in the 26 car. She wants to get a win. Getting by the 71 of Kev Shearer, who has driven a tremendous race so far in a 71 car in his only start for the season. He raced last season, but and got a win, but still. Alexander Rowe running strong in there. The 55 car is going to be a Ford next season. The Jasper Engines car is going to be a Ford next season. 75 car is also going to be a Ford. It's going to have Factory Source of America as the sponsor of that car next season as well too. The 75 car. And whether Laura drives that car, it's going to be a question mark. 98 car is going to be a Ford next season. It's going to have Bojangles as the sponsors. One's going to be blue and one's going to be black, and the other's going to be yellow. So you take your pick on what color you want. 68 car, you're going to see that as the Ford next season as well too. The Country Time car of Ben Cohen. I'm not sure where Ben's going to be going into next season as far as the driver as well too. 12 car is going to lose Rebecca's sponsorship. That's going to go to the 8 car next season. But the 12 car is going to have Meineke, and it's going to be a Ford next season as well too. 6 laps to go here at Atlanta. Osborne still has not made up any ground in that number 8 car. He's in 25th right now. He's got to be saying a prayer right now in the number 8 car, hoping something happens to those front 3 drivers in the points. Trent Dunham now dives underneath that number 1 car. Trying to go up underneath Laura Chung in the 75 cars to go into turn number 1 once again. And Dylan Poteet now jumps to the lead now in car number 94. He's got Keith Batson behind him, Jessica Shelton, Seth Cole. And now Batson looking for the top spot. He's got Shelton shoving him in the number 11 car down the turn number 4 to come. Here they come down for now 4 laps to go at Atlanta. Through the first and second turns they come. Shelton close up to the back bumper. That number 11 machine here. Down the back stretch they come. On board with Shelton. Trying to do the same thing Bill Elliott did with his car at the 92 Hooters 500. That was win the event title. Going up behind Batson in car 28 there. Now Shelton's been moved up the track by Seth Cole now. Seth Cole wants to gain a few points there, and a few points himself as well too. He was 4th in the points, 76 back in the leader coming into this event. Through the 3rd and 4th turns they come here. Shelton, high side. Cole on the low side now, coming out now for 2 laps to go. Who's going to be the champion? That's going to be the question here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Shelton closes a bit under time. Batson trying to hold them all off. Batson, 3-time winner so far. Shelton, a 4-time winner. Here comes Shelton to the low side for the lead. Poteet trying to get behind to help Shelton as they come out the 4th turn now. The white flag waves. 1 more lap remaining in Atlanta. Batson has a slight advantage by about a bumper to the stripe. This is the last lap of the race, folks. Batson pulls back ahead in that turn number 2. Batson's got some horsepower under the hood of that number 28 car. Destiny as he comes on the backstretch now into the 3rd turn. And it's going to be the number 28 Texaco Haviland Ford. Looking to become the second driver to win his 4th race of the season. And there's the end of the race. Keith Batson wins the Napa Auto Parts 500 at Atlanta. And I believe, I believe Osborne's not going to move up any at all. He has lost the championship. Question is, who to? And if I do my math correctly, I think Raphael Leduc has just won the season 36 Castrol GTX Cup Series championship, and in fact, I believe he did. Leduc is going to finish in 6th position. Seth got 5th, and Reed got 4th. But I believe that they've all gained enough points to where they can get past Osborne for the title. And Raphael Leduc is going to be your season 36 Castrol GTX Cup Series champion. Unbelievable here after winning only 1 race in a season. But what a race to close out the season for the Castrol GTX Cup Series here for season 36 here. Keith Batson is your race winner. Dylan Poteet finishes 2nd. Jessica Shelton comes home 3rd. 4th goes to Austin Reed. 5th to Seth Cole. 6th to Raphael Leduc. 7th goes to Charles Sanford in his initial ride with that 24 car. His first back with that ride, or first race with that ride in a long time, I might add. Cole Deaver comes home 8th. Tori Gossett comes home 9th. And Quentin Moore finishes in 10th position, so Quentin does keep his top 10 spot in the points as well, too. 11th goes to Kev Shearer. 12th place will go to Alexander Rowe. 13th, Colin Cropley. 14th goes to Paul Minnick. Cody McGirt, 15th. 16th goes to Mike Becker. Kyle Matthews, 17th. Trent Dunham, 18th. Ryan Brommer, 19th. And Christian Bracken looks to me like he will be your Rookie of the Year for season 36, and he ends up finishing 20th in today's event. So Christian Bracken, I believe, is going to be your season 36 Castrol GTX Cup Series Rookie of the Year. Dylan Young, not that he wanted to, ends up finishing 21st. 22nd goes to Ben Cohen. Joshua Osborne, 23rd in today's event. And a guy who came in this race with a 39-point advantage, and he has lost the title with that race right there. But if you know Joshua, he will definitely be going for it again next season. So a tough break for the 8 team of Osborne. Came up with that big victory he had at Phoenix, and then unfortunately have it all go to shambles on him at Atlanta. But that's racing as it obviously seems to be. Laura Chung, 24th. 25th goes to Nathan Orman. Caleb Fogler, 26th. Tito McCoy, 27th. Mitchell Hodak, 28th. Reggie Fogelman, 29th. And 30th goes to Aubrey Scott. 31st goes to Zachary Fitzwater. Noah Sewell, 32nd. 33rd, John Andrews. Eli Liara, 34th. Andrew Miller, 35th. Lyle Austin, 36th. Eric Monaco, 37th. And Wes McCoy, 38th. So that's your finishing order here at Atlanta. Eric Monaco, unfortunately, he will drop out of the top 10 by virtue of that finish. So tough break for the 4-car team as well, too, after having such a tremendous season on the year. And the start of the season there, then it kind of flattened out as the season goes on. Average speed 183.537 miles an hour. The average speed in the race had and tremendous racing as we saw all day at Atlanta. We've seen two really good races at Atlanta this season. But it's the Texaco Haviland Ford Keith Batson that takes home the race win, I should say. And Rafael Leduc is going to be our season 36 Castrol GTX Cup Series champion. And we'll come back. We'll be back to review the points after this.
Greg, did you have any ignition problems?
Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway here in Atlanta for the Napa Autoports 500, where we saw Keith Batson take the victory in that race. And here is your points review for the season. And take a look at the Rookie of the Year points right down there. Christian Bracken did hold on to win the season 36 Rookie of the Year for the Castrol GTX Cup Series. So Colin Crawley's got to be happy with that. Since that was since Bracken is one of Crawley's drivers. He ended up finishing with 284 rookie points. Andrew Miller with 279, and Lyle Austin at 274. So three tremendous rookies we had this season in the Castrol GTX Cup Series, and let's hope they come back for a second season if they choose to. So now the overall points there, Rafael Leduc, as we suspected, is the Castrol GTX Cup Series champion for season 36, winning by 20 points over Austin Reed for the championship title here. Reed finishes second place in the points. Joshua Osborne, who had the lead going into Atlanta, his 23rd place finish here cost him 2 spots in the points. He drops to third place in the standings, 22 points behind the leader. And Seth Cole ends up 32 points behind the leader in 4th position in the points. Cole Deaver rounds out the top 5, 131 back of the leader. So that's how the top 5 ends up here. Rafael Leduc ends up finishing with 1 pole, 1 win, 9 top 5s, and 17 top 10 finishes, and an average finishing position of 12.52, and a points total of 4,079 points. Austin Reed had 4,059 points for second position here. He finishes with 1 pole, 1 win, 9 top 5s, and 19 top 10 finishes here, and an average finish of 12.77. Joshua Osborne had an average finish of 13.29. And points total of 4,057. He ends up finishing with 2 poles, 3 wins, 11 top 5s, and 19 top 10 finishes. So truly, that was really more championship status right there too, as opposed to Leduc. But nonetheless, that's how points are earned, and consistency. That's how the whole thing is earned here. Seth Cole, he ends up finishing with 2 poles, 1 win, 8 top 5s, and 17 top 10 finishes, an average finish of 12.77, and a total of 4,047 for the points. And Cole Deaver ends up finishing with 3,948 points. He ends up with 3 poles, 3 wins. Those came, as we mentioned, at Sonoma, Indianapolis, and Michigan. He had 3 poles, 3 wins, 11 top 5s, and 17 top 10 finishes. So Deaver rounds out the top 5 in the points. 6 through 10 in the points here. Dylan Poteet finishes a quiet 6th place in the points. He had no poles, but he did score a win. That was at Martinsville, the bizarre race at Martinsville. 6 top 5s and 12 top 10 finishes on a season. Charles Sanford, even with the 24 right at the end, he ends up finishing with 2 poles, 1 win. That was the day race at Bristol. 7 top 5s and 15 top 10 finishes on the season. Jessica Shelton, 8th place finish in the points for her. 2 poles, 4 wins. Those came at the first Martinsville race. She also won the second Talladega race, the second Bristol race, the night race at Bristol, that is, and the second North Wilkesboro race. So that was the races Shelton won. 2 poles, 4 wins, 9 top 5s, and 15 top 10 finishes on the season. Keith Batson comes home in 9th place in the points chase. He had 1 pole, 4 wins, 6 top 5s, and 9 top 10s. So he leapfrogged over Monaco, Young, and Moore in the points. Batson came in 12th place in the points at Atlanta, too, by the way. Quentin Moore rounds out the top 10, finishing with 1 pole, 1 win, 6 top 5s, and 14 top 10 finishes in a point total of 3,748. Rounding up the Running at the top 20 in the points here, Dylan Young comes home in 11th place in the points. Eric Monaco dropped to 12th. He was 9th in the points coming into Atlanta, so he and Quentin Moore flip-flop positions. Kyle Matthews at 13th place. 13th. Kyle Matthews comes home 13th. Caleb Vogler 14th in the points, and Tori Gossett gets a 15th place points finish on the season after her solid run at Atlanta. Colin Cropley is not going to be happy with his season here. He ends up finishing 16th in the points. He had 16th in the points. He had 2 poles, no wins, 3 top 5s, and 11 top 10 finishes on the season. Trent Dunham comes home 12th in the point, or Trent Dunham, I should say, finishes 17th in the points. 18th goes to Mike Becker. 19th, Ben Cohen, and Paul Minnick finishes 20th in the points. He had a Daytona 500 win. He had 1 win, 3 top 5s, and 5 top 10 finishes, and no pole positions. So, 21st on down, Mitchell Hodak comes home 21st in the points. 22nd goes to Laura Chung. 23rd, Zachary Fitzwater. 24th goes to Aubrey Scott. 25th place goes to Reggie Fogelman. Ryan Brommer, 26th place in the finish in the points for Brommer. Alexander Rowe, 27th. 28th goes to Cody McGurk. 29th, John Andrews. And 30th position goes to Nathan Orman. 31st goes to Lyle Austin. 32nd, Christian Bracken. 33rd, Tito McCoy. 34th goes to Noah Sewell. Alan Liara, 35th. 36th goes to Andrew Miller. 37th goes to Wes McCoy. And Cab Shearer, of course, he had that one-off start at Atlanta, where he in the Atlanta finale, taking over for Charles Sanford in the finale in Atlanta, I should say. He started 7th and finished 11th in that race, which is very impressive for a one-off start for sure, as well. So if Cab chooses to come back for season 36 or for season 37, then we'll see what happens on that. But that is your points for the entire season here. Congratulations once again to Keith Batson, the winner of the Napa Auto Parts 500, and to Raphael LeDuc, the season 36 Castrol GTX Cup Series champion on the season. If you like what you see here, be sure to subscribe to the NNSCRA Sports and Gaming channel. We got everything on this channel. We got inner races, we got gaming videos, we got inner online videos, whatever the president of the NNSCRA says Seth Cole deserves to have for his channel. Be sure to check out Seth's Story Cell Cup Series, the main series on his channel. And if you want, future seasons of Seth series, be sure to get with Seth, and he'll get you going. Also, be sure to check out our other channel that does NNSCRA offline racing. That channel being X867539855X. It's Dylan Young's channel, the man who does the NNSCRA Spectrum Mobile Cup Series. Subscribe to his channel for some cool stuff as well too. And also subscribe to the channel that he and Kyle Matthews do together. That channel being We the Coasters. If you're a roller coaster / theme park / amusement park fan, then We the Coasters is the channel for you, and subscribe to that channel for some cool stuff as well too. Also subscribe to this channel you're watching here, the NNSCRA Sports and Gaming channel, for some great stuff as well too. Like we said, we got inner races, we got inner races, we got inner offline races, we got inner online races, we got gaming videos, and knowing Seth a lot of Minecraft and Fortnite, a lot of knowing him on that. But subscribe to the NNSCRA Sports and Gaming channel for some cool stuff as well too, and you will not regret doing so. So that is it for season 36 of the Castrol GTX Cup Series. Thank you so much for joining us here this season. We'll see you for season 37. We'll see you for season 37 when we hit Speed Weeks at Daytona International Speedway for the 1993 Winston Cup car set. For now, this is James Coulson, and it's been production of the NNSCRA, celebrating 11 years of offline racing at its best. We'll see you for season 37 Speed Weeks at Daytona.